I'm Dr. Lexi Lane with Summit Vitality, and today I'm going to be talking about why stress can really upset your stomach. Let's say you're a really busy mom, you're an entrepreneur, you're running the kids around, doing all sorts of errands, cleaning the house, running your life, and you don't have time to eat, so you're eating very quickly and on the go. If that's you, maybe then what happens is you might get bloated, you might have constipation, maybe some looser stool, abdominal cramping, maybe even acid reflux. So what's going on between you running from the bear and that connection to your gut? You have this very intricate nervous system. We call it the enteric nervous system, which is basically almost like the second brain, which is in the gut. And it is directly communicating with the vagus nerve, which is basically a two-way street. So you hear a lot about the gut-brain connection, but what I'm about to talk about is the brain-gut connection. So the communication going from the brain down to the GI via the vagus nerve. So what's happening is that when you are eating a food, you have to smell it and you have to think about it, and lemon is a really good example of that. You start to salivate. The salivation then starts to communicate down further to create digestive enzymes. That communication, even the smell of the food, will actually go directly to the brain through the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve goes to this frontal lobe area, which is involved with motility, and you need the motility to actually stool. So that's going to be peristalsis, is the gut contracting naturally to keep things moving along. And essentially what's happening is the vagus nerve talks to the frontal lobe, and then it goes back to the vagus nerve down to the gut to say we want more stomach acid production, we want more digestive enzymes, and then hey, we're going to help the GI move along, and there you go with proper digestion. But when you're running from the bear and you are in this excitatory fight or flight response, initially the vagus nerve is going to be overfiring. So you're going to get an overproduction of stomach acid, which leads into stomach ulcers. You guys have heard of that. You might get too much digestive enzymes and then maybe even runny stool, right? So when people have presentations, some people will get constipated, others will have loose stool or like nausea and vomiting. These are direct pathways of stress impacting brain, but how it impacts gut downstream. The other thing to think about too is that over time what will happen is the sympathetic nervous system, that fight or flight response, is going to wear down, and so in turn you're going to have low stomach acid production and you're going to get more constipated, so slower movement. And then what can also happen is that the vagus nerve is getting tired, so these compartments that trap your GI, so for example you have one compartment of the stomach to protect your body from stomach acid. Those are called sphincters. With chronic acid reflux, some of those sphincters can get relaxed or opened. You'll see another compartment separating the large intestines with the small intestines. You probably know about SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, where bugs are moving up from the large intestines into small intestines. That's actually partly because the vagus nerve is worn out, and that sphincter, or that compartment, the door is being opened because it no longer can stay closed. And so things are going into the wrong direction. A lot of common symptoms with SIBO is constipation and anxiety, that fight or flight response. So you're going to find themes of this throughout your body when you are stressed, but hopefully you can understand a little bit on how the stress impacts your brain through vagus nerve and how that downstream impacts your gut. So what can you do to really help your body? Number one is obviously stress management. Take a moment, chew your food, sit down and eat slowly. Maybe that's not practical, but at least working on being a little bit more mindful in the situations and when you're eating, to just take a moment to breathe while you're chewing your food. Another thing is that when we activate the vagus nerve, because that's what we really want to do, singing really loud to the back of the throat when you have to say ah to the doctor, stick out your tongue and say ah, we're testing the vagus nerve. And so singing can really help to activate that. It's also known that you can gargle really hard until you tear up. I'm not a big fan of that, but if you want to do that, you can. That can also really help to activate the vagus nerve. And then finally, if you're a hot mess, definitely go and see a naturopathic doctor. I'm always here to help. You can check out our blogs. You can contact us on our website. We would be happy to sit down with you and see if we're a good fit to really help you work through. Maybe we need to balance out stomach acid production, digestive enzyme, clean up the GI a little bit, support you from the stress management point of view to really help quiet this fight or flight storm. Hopefully this has been really helpful for you, and we're here if you need us. And I'm Dr. Lexi Lane with Summit Vitality.